wholeness, balance, and love. And welcome to the power of breath. In this video, we're gonna learn how we can utilize our breath as a therapeutic tool to transform us on a physical, mental, and emotional level, but more specifically, the awareness of our breath. Before we begin, I want us to use our imagination to visualize a little bit. I want you to think back to a time in your life where you were beyond happy, extremely joyful, blissed out, and as you begin to process that thought, think about who you were with, what you were doing, the sounds around you, maybe even what you were wearing. And as you can concentrate that idea, begin to notice what you feel within your body. Begin to notice the sensations inside of your heart. But even deeper, bring your awareness to notice the natural rhythm of your breath. And now, on the alternate side, I want you to think about a time where you may be a little bit angry, irritated, upset, maybe pissed off or mad. Notice what was happening. How did you respond or react? Who were you with? What were you doing? And then shift your awareness into your physical body. Notice any tension, any tightness. Begin to notice the energy that's moving within your heart. And then shift your attention back to your breath. And let's see if we can notice the rhythm here. And let's clear all that space out. Let's take a quick deep breath in. Sigh it out. And just take a brief moment to reflect on that experience. What you'll soon realize is that every emotional state has a very specific breathing pattern. And within that breathing pattern, it affects you on a physical level, it affects you mentally as well. So from that right there alone, we recognize that our rhythm, our pattern of breathing directly reflects what is happening within. Therefore, the ability to become conscious of your breath gives you the awareness of what is happening within you at one of the more authentic levels, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And once I am conscious of where I'm at within this present moment, I could begin to then utilize my breath intentionally to promote a breathing pattern that brings balance to my overall well-being. Now, why is this important? As an educator, your emotional regulation is the foundation or the beacon point where those around you are learning to regulate and ground themselves. So the more that you are able to attune to your emotional, physical, and mental state, the more ability you'll have in order to create a space around you that supports the self-regulation of those you are working with, especially those who are working with youth, children, or even people within your organization and business. When I am stressed out and my emotion is unregulated, that is more likely that I can create and spread that energy to those around me. But when I am calm, when I am present, when I am centered, that energy begins to reflect into each individual around me. And specifically, children and youth, they are learning how to self-regulate based upon the self-regulation of adults who have embodied that space. So if they're in a space and room where you're stressed, you're anxious, you're nervous, I'm breathing fast, they're subconsciously picking up those signals and begin to embody that same energy. So our goal is to first and foremost is to recognize, one, how I am breathing, and then two, learning the proper tools to shift that into a more regulated space. Let's get clear on what I mean by breath work. When I say breath work, I'm talking about the conscious awareness of our natural breath and the conscious control of our breathing to promote a regulated physical, mental, and emotional state. We currently live in a time where a lot of us, we don't breathe properly. A lot of us, we have no conscious awareness of what is happening within our breath. But once you become fully aware that this gives you a direct line of feedback to where you are authentically, we begin to take this tool to empower us. Now, to bring this into direct experience, let's take a moment just to pause here once again. And I want you just to pay very close attention of what is happening inside. Ask yourself first and foremost, how do I know I'm breathing? What sensations, what feelings bring my attention into that space? And now as you're noticing the breath, notice what muscles are active. Does anything feel tight? Does anything feel a little tense? Is my breath smooth? Is my breath fluid? Is it heavy? Is it soft? Is it fast? Is it slow? And intuitively ask yourself, if my breath was speaking to me, what would it be saying to me about the state of my physical, mental, and emotional well-being? Now, in that observation of looking at your breath, there's a lot of things that we can learn, and some things that we might not take into accountability. But if my breath is hurried, there's usually a sign that my mind is hurried too. If my breath is a little bit tight, a little bit tense, that's usually a reflection that that tension, that tightness is happening within my heart, within my mind. But what happens when my breath is smooth, when it's regulated, when it's soft? What does that say about my internal state of being? And the beautiful part about this, our breath is something that we can do consciously and unconsciously. And once we begin to learn to develop a more deeper, intimate relationship with the observation of our breath, it opens up a window of possibilities that are limitless to bring us into a space of balance that best supports us. Now, you may be asking yourself, what are some benefits if I were to do this on a regular basis of observing my breath? Number one, is this a natural state of peace and calm that moves and flows through you? You no longer feel that stuck sensation. You no longer feel those blockages within your mind, which leads off to the second benefit. I create more space within my mind. I'm bringing in more oxygen within the body, which is allowing more blood to flow within the brain, which gives me direct access to our prefrontal cortex, which deals with all of our thinking and decision making. And last but not least, I become a better version of myself. I begin to see directly, clearly what's happening within me, and I can begin to take that knowledge and information as feedback to transform myself in my everyday life. To conclude, we must understand that our physical, mental, and emotional well-being are key for us to access the greatest version of ourselves. Through the direct observation of our breath, recognizing how it's showing up physically, the tension, the holding, the lack of connection, and then moving on to the conscious control of our breathing to promote that state that we're looking for that will best serve us in that moment, will allow us to show up not just for ourselves, but for our family, our youth, and all those we connect with in our life. So in our next video, we'll experience a direct practice of observing our breath to begin to notice what comes up within myself. So I look forward to sharing this beautiful space with you all, and I wish we have a beautiful day.